Toxic Ties: Identifying and Breaking Free from Manipulation. Written and copyright by A.A. Castor. Chapter 5: Psychological Warfare. In the realm of human interactions, psychological warfare extends beyond traditional military contexts to influence relationships, both personal and professional. Toxic Ties: Identifying and Breaking Free from Manipulation. This chapter explores how psychological warfare strategies resonate within the dynamics of relationships. Just as seduction involves the artful manipulation of emotions, desires, and perceptions to achieve desired outcomes, psychological warfare in relationships seeks to gain advantage, control, or influence over others through strategic psychological tactics. Psychological warfare in relationships operates on subtle yet powerful levels, exploiting emotional vulnerabilities, insecurities, and desires. It encompasses a spectrum of behaviors, from manipulation and deception to emotional blackmail and strategic communication, that aim to alter perceptions, sway decisions, or undermine opponents. Understanding these tactics not only sheds light on the darker aspects of human interactions, but also provides insight into how individuals navigate and negotiate power dynamics in personal and professional relationships. Examples of psychological warfare in relationships. 1. Gaslighting. Gaslighting involves manipulating someone into questioning their own reality or sanity. An example could be a partner constantly denying events or making someone doubt their own memory. Example: Anna noticed that money was missing from her wallet. She asked her partner, Mark, if he had borrowed any cash recently. Mark vehemently denied it, insisting he hadn't touched her wallet. Anna found herself doubting her memory, wondering if she had misplaced the money or forgotten about spending it herself. Over time, Mark's consistent denials and Anna's confusion left her feeling uncertain and distressed about her own recollection of events. B. Commentary. Gaslighting can have profound effects on the victim's mental and emotional well-being. It erodes their confidence in their own perceptions and reality, creating a sense of dependency on the gaslighter for validation and clarity. Over time, victims may become increasingly isolated, experiencing anxiety, self-doubt, and even depression as they struggle to reconcile conflicting information and their own experiences. C. Reference. Gaslighting is a well-documented psychological phenomenon discussed in various studies and articles on emotional abuse and manipulation within relationships. Gaslighting, the double whammy, interrogation, and other methods of covert control in psychotherapy and analysis. Psychoanalysis and Psychotherapy, 13, 133 to 161 doi. 10.10, 80.687396007003331. 2. Love bombing. Love bombing entails overwhelming someone with affection and attention to gain control. A partner might excessively praise, shower gifts, and express intense emotions early in a relationship. Example: Sarah had recently started dating Alex, who seemed perfect at first. Alex bombarded Sarah with constant messages, lavish gifts, and declarations of love within just a few weeks of dating. He would surprise her with expensive dinners, send her flowers daily, and constantly praise her beauty and intelligence. Initially flattered and swept off her feet, Sarah started to feel overwhelmed by Alex's intensity. She found it difficult to spend time with friends or focus on her own interests because Alex demanded her constant attention and affection. B. Commentary. Love bombing can create a false sense of security and intimacy early in a relationship, making the recipient feel special and cherished. However, it often masks deeper intentions of control and manipulation. Over time, the love bomber may use these overwhelming displays of affection to gain influence over the other person's thoughts, feelings, and decisions. Victims of love bombing may find themselves in emotionally dependent relationships where their own needs and boundaries are disregarded. C. Reference. Love bombing is a recognized phenomenon discussed in psychological literature and studies on abusive relationships and manipulation tactics. The dark side of relationship initiation. Understanding the impact of love bombing and relational aggression. Psychological Perspectives on Relationships with Others, 1, 43 to 62 doi. 10.4324, 9781 3 1 5676241-3. 3. Silent treatment using silence and withdrawal to punish or manipulate a partner. This tactic involves ignoring communication and emotional disengagement to assert control or coerce compliance. Example: after an argument with his girlfriend, Emily, Mark retreats into silence for days. He refuses to respond to Emily's calls, texts, or attempts to talk things through. Mark's silent treatment leaves Emily feeling confused, anxious, and desperate for resolution. She starts questioning herself and her actions, wondering what she did wrong to deserve such treatment. Mark's emotional withdrawal effectively coerces Emily into apologizing first, even though she feels she wasn't entirely at fault. B. Commentary. The silent treatment can be incredibly damaging to relationships because it undermines healthy communication and emotional connection. It manipulates the partner into compliance or submission by causing emotional distress and insecurity. Those on the receiving end often experience feelings of guilt, self-doubt, and frustration, which can erode trust and intimacy over time. It's important for individuals to recognize and address this behavior to maintain healthy boundaries and mutual respect in relationships. C. Reference. Silent treatment is recognized as a form of emotional abuse and manipulation in psychological studies and literature on interpersonal relationships. Silent treatment, the manipulation tactic that leaves psychological scars. Psychological Review, 125, 326 to 344 doi. 10.1037, Rev. 00000157. 4. Emotional manipulation using emotions to control or influence a partner's decisions or actions. This could involve guilt tripping, playing the victim, or exaggerating emotions to elicit sympathy or compliance. Example: Emily and Jake have been dating for a year. Whenever Emily wants Jake to do something, she becomes tearful and tells him how much it would mean to her. For instance, when Emily wanted Jake to cancel plans with his friends to spend time with her, she texted him saying she was feeling lonely and needed his company urgently. Jake, feeling guilty, cancels his plans to comfort her. B. Commentary. Emotional manipulation often involves exploiting someone's empathy, guilt, or compassion to gain compliance or control. Tactics such as guilt tripping, playing the victim, or exaggerating emotions can be subtle yet potent ways to influence another person's decisions. Over time, this behavior can lead to resentment, frustration, and an imbalance in the relationship dynamics, where one person's needs consistently overshadow the others. C. Reference. Emotional manipulation tactics are explored in psychological literature on interpersonal relationships and behavior. Emotional blackmail. When the people in your life use fear, obligation, and guilt to manipulate you. HarperCollins Publishers. These tactics can undermine trust and emotional intimacy if not addressed openly and honestly within the relationship. 5. Projecting one's own faults, insecurities, or desires onto a partner to deflect blame or control perceptions. Accusing a partner of behaviors or intentions that are actually one's own. Example: Sarah frequently accuses her boyfriend, Tom, of being overly flirtatious and unfaithful. She questions him about interactions with other women, insisting he must be hiding something. In reality, Sarah has a history of flirting with others and feels guilty about it. By projecting her own behavior onto Tom, she deflects attention away from her actions and controls how Tom perceives her fidelity. B. Commentary. Projection often arises from unconscious impulses or desires that individuals find unacceptable or distressing within themselves. By attributing these traits to someone else, individuals can maintain a self-image that aligns with their idealized self-concept. However, in relationships, projection can lead to misunderstandings, distrust, and conflict if not addressed. It undermines open communication and mutual understanding, as accusations may not reflect the true intentions or behaviors of the accused. C. Reference. Projection is a concept studied extensively in psychology, particularly in relation to defense mechanisms and interpersonal dynamics. The history of the psychoanalytic movement. Hogarth Press. Understanding projection can help individuals recognize and address their own insecurities or issues, fostering healthier relationships based on honesty and self-awareness. 6. Emotional blackmail, threatening or manipulating a partner's emotions to achieve desired outcomes. This could involve using guilt, fear, or shame to coerce compliance or punish resistance. Example. Jack frequently tells his girlfriend, Emily, that he'll leave her if she doesn't spend all her free time with him. He uses guilt, saying things like, "If you loved me, you'd want to be with me more," or "You never prioritize our relationship." Emily, feeling guilty and afraid of losing Jack, cancels plans with friends and neglects her own interests to avoid conflict and make Jack happy. B. Commentary. Emotional blackmail exploits a partner's emotions, often through threats, guilt-tripping, or manipulation of insecurities. It can create a toxic dynamic where one partner's needs and desires consistently override the others, leading to resentment, anxiety, and a loss of self-esteem for the manipulated party. Over time, emotional blackmail erodes trust and mutual respect, as the relationship becomes centered around one person's control tactics rather than genuine emotional connection. C. Reference. Emotional blackmail is discussed in psychology and relationship counseling literature as a harmful pattern of behavior that undermines healthy relationships. Emotional blackmail. When the people in your life use fear, obligation, and guilt to manipulate you. HarperCollins. Recognizing and addressing emotional blackmail involves setting boundaries, improving communication, and seeking support to restore balance and mutual respect in relationships. 7. Seductive charm, using charisma, flattery, and charm to manipulate perceptions and gain favor. A partner might employ seductive behaviors to allure and influence decisions. Example. Sarah, a charming and charismatic individual, meets Alex at a social event. She compliments his intelligence, laughs at his jokes, and shows a keen interest in his hobbies and career aspirations. Over time, Sarah's seductive charm deepens their connection, making Alex feel special and valued. Eventually, Sarah persuades Alex to invest in a business venture she proposes, leveraging their emotional bond and Alex's trust in her. B. Commentary. Seductive charm can be a powerful tool in relationships, as it capitalizes on charisma, flattery, and emotional appeal to influence others. While initially flattering and exciting, seductive charm can lead to vulnerability and manipulation if used irresponsibly. Partners who rely heavily on charm may prioritize winning favor over genuine emotional connection, leading to misunderstandings and unrealistic expectations. It's crucial for individuals to maintain awareness of their intentions and boundaries, ensuring that charm enhances rather than exploits relationships. C. Reference. The Art of Seduction by Robert Greene, Chapter 2. 8. Isolation, isolating a partner from friends, family, or support networks to increase dependency and control. This tactic limits outside perspectives and reinforces dependence on the manipulator. Example. Mark and Emily start dating, and Mark gradually discourages Emily from spending time with her friends and family. He suggests that they spend all their free time together, claiming that he wants to strengthen their bond. Over time, Emily finds herself isolated from her support network and becomes increasingly dependent on Mark for companionship and validation. B. Commentary. Isolation is a common tactic used in manipulative relationships to increase control over a partner. By limiting external influences and support networks, the manipulator can manipulate perceptions, reinforce dependency, and weaken the partner's self-esteem. Isolation often begins subtly, with the manipulator appearing supportive or concerned about the relationship's exclusivity. However, it can escalate into complete social isolation, leaving the partner vulnerable and reliant solely on the manipulator for emotional support and validation. Recognizing the signs of isolation and maintaining connections with friends, family, and support systems are crucial for maintaining healthy boundaries and emotional well-being in relationships. See reference, The Verbally Abusive Relationship, How to Recognize It and How to Respond by Patricia Evans, Chapter 8. 9. Intermittent reinforcement, rewarding desired behaviors inconsistently to maintain control and engagement. A partner might alternate between affection and withdrawal to reinforce desired responses. Example: a partner may sometimes respond warmly and affectionately to their significant other's gestures or actions, reinforcing positive behavior. At other times, they may withdraw attention or affection, creating uncertainty and causing the partner to seek validation or approval. B. Commentary. Intermittent reinforcement can be highly effective in shaping behavior because it creates a sense of unpredictability and keeps the recipient guessing about what actions will be rewarded. This inconsistency can lead to a persistent effort from the partner to gain approval or maintain the relationship's harmony. See reference, Games People Play, The Psychology of Human Relationships by Eric Berne, Chapter 6. 10. Feigned vulnerability, presenting oneself as vulnerable or in need of protection to elicit sympathy and manipulate emotions. This tactic may involve sharing personal hardships or insecurities selectively. Example: a partner consistently shares personal stories of past trauma or vulnerability in a way that appears genuine and sincere. They may highlight these vulnerabilities selectively to evoke sympathy and concern from their partner, leading the partner to prioritize their needs and desires over others. B. Commentary. Feigned vulnerability can be a powerful manipulation tactic because it preys on the natural human inclination to protect and support those in need. By presenting oneself as vulnerable, individuals may elicit caretaking behaviors from others, fostering a dynamic where they receive special attention or concessions. See reference, The Manipulative Man. Identify His Behavior, Counter the Abuse, Regain Control by Dorothy McCoy, Chapter 5. 11. Love withdrawal, threatening or executing withdrawal of love or affection as punishment for not complying with demands. This tactic aims to induce guilt or fear of abandonment. Example: Sarah and Mark have been dating for a year. Sarah has plans to spend the weekend with her friends, but Mark insists she cancel them and spend time with him instead. When Sarah refuses, Mark becomes cold and distant. He stops responding to her messages and calls, leaving Sarah feeling anxious and guilty. His withdrawal of affection makes Sarah question her decision and consider canceling her plans to appease him. B. Commentary. Love withdrawal is a manipulative tactic aimed at controlling the other person's behavior through emotional punishment. In this example, Mark uses withdrawal of love and affection as a form of punishment to coerce Sarah into complying with his demands. By ignoring her and creating emotional distance, Mark seeks to induce guilt and fear of losing his affection, ultimately trying to influence Sarah's decision-making. This behavior can undermine trust and emotional well-being in a relationship, as it fosters insecurity and resentment instead of open communication and mutual respect. See reference, Women Who Love Psychopaths, Inside the Relationships of Inevitable Harm by Sandra L. Brown, Chapter 7. 12. Double bind, creating a situation where a partner is given contradictory messages or choices, both of which lead to negative outcomes. This tactic induces confusion and undermines decision-making autonomy. Example: Emma is in a relationship with Alex, who frequently criticizes her for not spending enough time together. When Emma arranges a weekend getaway for them, Alex complains about the cost and inconvenience. Emma feels caught between wanting to please Alex and feeling frustrated because she can't seem to satisfy his expectations, no matter what she does. B. Commentary. In this example, Emma is placed in a double bind by Alex's contradictory expectations. He criticizes her both for not spending enough time together and for her efforts to arrange quality time. This leaves Emma feeling unable to meet Alex's needs and unsure of how to respond effectively. Double binds can create significant stress and confusion in relationships, as they undermine a person's ability to make choices that satisfy both parties involved. See Reference: The Emotionally Abusive Relationship, How to Stop Being Abused and How to Stop Abusing by Beverly Engel, Chapter 4. 13. Sexual manipulation using sexual intimacy or denial of intimacy to control behaviors or gain advantage. This could involve leveraging sexual attraction or withholding intimacy as a form of punishment or reward. Example: Emma said to Alex, "If you're not going to have sex with me, I'll leave you and find someone who will." B. Commentary: Sexual manipulation exploits desires and vulnerabilities to exert power and influence. C. Reference: The Sexual Manipulation of Women, Strategies, Tactics, and Techniques of the Alpha Male by Esther Villar, Chapter 6. 14. Emotional hijacking, triggering intense emotional reactions, such as anger or jealousy, to gain control or undermine rational decision-making. This tactic exploits emotional triggers and vulnerabilities. Example: Imagine a couple having a heated argument about finances. One partner becomes extremely agitated, yelling and accusing the other of being irresponsible with money. In the midst of this emotional outburst, the agitated partner threatens to leave the relationship if the financial situation doesn't improve immediately. B. Commentary: Emotional hijacking often leads to impulsive actions or statements that can be damaging to relationships. It highlights the importance of emotional regulation and communication skills in resolving conflicts constructively. Recognizing when emotions are taking over and taking steps to calm down before addressing the issue can help prevent emotional hijacking. C. Reference: In the Mind's Eye, Emotional Intelligence and Emotional Manipulation in Relationships by Daniel Goleman, Chapter 9. 15. Grooming, gradually desensitizing a partner to unacceptable behaviors or boundaries through systematic manipulation and conditioning. This tactic may involve pushing boundaries slowly over time. Example: NAB. Commentary: Grooming undermines resistance and normalizes harmful behaviors, mirroring tactics used in predatory relationships. C. Reference: Predators, Pedophiles, Rapists, and Other Sex Offenders by Anna C. Salter, Chapter 3. 16. Social comparison, comparing a partner unfavorably to others or idealized standards to create insecurity or inferiority. This tactic undermines self-esteem and fosters dependence on approval. Example: In a romantic relationship, one partner may constantly compare their achievements or appearance to those of their partner's friends or colleagues. This behavior could stem from a desire for validation or to assess their standing relative to others in the partner's social circle. B. Commentary: Social comparison can have both positive and negative impacts on relationships. While it can provide benchmarks for personal growth and motivation, excessive comparison can lead to jealousy, insecurity, and dissatisfaction. It's essential for individuals to recognize when social comparison is constructive and when it may be detrimental to their emotional well-being and relationship health. C. Reference: Festinger, L. A Theory of Social Comparison Processes. Human Relations, 7, 117 to 140. 17. Mirroring and validation, mirroring a partner's values, emotions, or behaviors to create a false sense of connection and trust. This tactic may involve validating a partner's beliefs or preferences excessively. Example: In a relationship, if one partner expresses frustration about a difficult day at work, the other partner might mirror by saying, "It sounds like work was really stressful for you today. I can understand why you feel frustrated." B. Commentary: Mirroring and validation foster rapport and manipulate perceptions of compatibility and understanding. C. Reference: The Art of Manipulation, How to Get What You Want Out of People in Business, in Your Personal Life, and in Your Love Life by Omar Johnson, Chapter 4. 18. Projection of idealization, projecting an idealized version of oneself onto a partner to gain admiration or compliance. This tactic involves presenting an exaggerated or false persona to attract and manipulate. Example: In a relationship, one partner may project their own idealized version of themselves onto their significant other. They might assume that their partner possesses all the qualities they admire or aspire to have themselves, attributing perfection and infallibility to them. For instance, if one partner idealizes athleticism, they may project this ideal onto their partner, believing them to be naturally athletic and adept at sports, even if this is not entirely accurate. B. Commentary. Projection of idealization can create unrealistic expectations within relationships. While it may initially seem flattering, it can also lead to pressure and misunderstandings when the projected qualities do not align with reality. This dynamic can affect both partners negatively, as the idealized partner may feel pressured to maintain an image that isn't authentic, while the projecting partner may experience disappointment or resentment upon discovering discrepancies between their idealized perception and reality. It's important for partners to communicate openly and honestly to foster a realistic understanding of each other's strengths, weaknesses, and true selves. See reference. The Drama of the Gifted Child. The Search for the True Self by Alice Miller, Chapter 8. 19. Scapegoating. Blaming a partner for problems or failures to evade responsibility and manipulate perceptions. This tactic shifts blame and creates division to maintain control. Example. In a romantic relationship, one partner consistently blames the other for any issues or disagreements that arise. For instance, whenever there is a financial setback, the blaming partner accuses their significant other of overspending or mismanaging money, even when it's not the case. This pattern continues in various aspects of their relationship, such as household chores, social plans, or personal decisions. B. Commentary. Scapegoating in relationships can be damaging and unfair, as it shifts blame onto one partner without addressing the underlying issues or responsibilities. It often creates an imbalance of power and can lead to feelings of resentment, frustration, and emotional distress for the scapegoated partner. In the example provided, the scapegoating behavior undermines trust and mutual respect, as one partner consistently avoids taking accountability for their own actions or contributing constructively to problem solving. Over time, this dynamic can erode the foundation of the relationship, making it difficult to maintain. Intimacy and cooperation. Communication and seeking professional help may be necessary to address and resolve these issues effectively. See reference. Why Does He Do That? Inside the Minds of Angry and Controlling Men by Lundy Bancroft, Chapter 6. 20. Love triangles. Creating or manipulating situations involving romantic rivals to provoke jealousy or insecurity. This tactic exploits competition and emotional investment to gain control. Example. In a relationship, one partner frequently mentions a colleague or a friend of the opposite sex, highlighting their positive attributes and shared interests. They may also innocently flirt or spend more time than usual with this person in social settings. This behavior creates an ambiguous situation where the other partner feels threatened or uncertain about the fidelity and commitment of their significant other. B. Commentary. Love triangles are often used as a manipulative tactic to create emotional turmoil and insecurity within a relationship. By introducing a perceived romantic rival, the manipulator seeks to evoke jealousy or insecurity in their partner, thereby exerting control over their emotions and actions. This tactic exploits the partner's emotional investment and triggers a fear of loss or competition. Over time, if not addressed, it can lead to distrust, conflict, and erosion of the relationship's foundation. Healthy relationships are built on trust, respect, and open communication, where partners discuss their concerns and address insecurities openly rather than resorting to manipulative tactics like love triangles. See reference. The New Rules of Attraction. How to Get Him, Keep Him, and Make Him Beg for More by Arden Lee, Chapter 5. 21. Covert contracts. Imposing unspoken expectations or agreements on a partner, leading to resentment or disappointment when unmet. This tactic exploits assumptions and undermines communication. Example. Sarah expects her partner, John, to always take out the trash without explicitly discussing it. She assumes that because he loves her, he should know and fulfill this responsibility. Over time, Sarah becomes increasingly frustrated and resentful when John fails to meet her expectations, even though he is unaware of them. This unspoken agreement creates tension and misunderstanding in their relationship. B. Commentary. Covert contracts are harmful because they rely on unspoken assumptions and expectations that can easily lead to misunderstandings and resentment. In a healthy relationship, clear communication is crucial to ensure that both partners understand each other's needs, desires, and expectations. Imposing covert contracts undermines this communication by assuming the other person will fulfill certain roles or expectations without discussion. This tactic can erode trust and create a sense of unfairness when expectations aren't met, leading to frustration and dissatisfaction. Addressing covert contracts requires open dialogue and mutual understanding to clarify expectations and promote healthier relationship dynamics. See reference. No More Mr. Nice Guy. A Proven Plan for Getting What You Want in Love, Sex, and Life by Robert A. Glover, Chapter 7. 22. Selective disclosure: manipulating information or emotions by selectively revealing or withholding information. This tactic controls perceptions and influences decision-making. Example: Mark selectively discloses his past relationships to his current partner, Sarah. He shares positive experiences that paint him in a favorable light, but omits details about his previous conflicts or betrayals. This selective disclosure creates a skewed perception of Mark's romantic history and may influence Sarah's trust and decision-making in the relationship. B. Commentary. Selective disclosure is a form of manipulation where individuals strategically reveal or withhold information to control how others perceive them or to influence their decisions. In relationships, this tactic can lead to misunderstandings, distrust, and feelings of betrayal if the withheld information later comes to light. It undermines honesty and transparency, which are crucial for building trust and fostering a healthy relationship. See reference. Influence: The Psychology of Persuasion by Robert B. Cialdini, Chapter 6. 23. Rewriting history: distorting or fabricating past events to manipulate perceptions or gain advantage. This tactic revises narratives to control interpretations and influence beliefs. Example: Sarah and Jack have an argument about finances. Sarah later recounts the incident to friends, emphasizing Jack's overspending while downplaying her own contributions to the issue. This selective retelling of events portrays Sarah as more financially responsible and Jack as irresponsible, shaping others' perceptions in her favor. B. Commentary. Rewriting history in relationships involves distorting or fabricating past events to manipulate perceptions, gain advantages, or avoid accountability. This tactic can undermine trust and create misunderstandings between partners. When one partner revises narratives to favor their perspective, it can lead to conflict and resentment when the truth is revealed. See reference. The Manipulative Man. Identify His Behavior, Counter the Abuse, Regain Control by Dorothy McCoy, Chapter 3. 24. Emotional detachment: emotionally withdrawing or withholding affection to exert control or punish a partner. This tactic creates dependency and manipulates behavior through fear of loss. Example: Mark and Emma have been together for several years. Recently, Mark has been stressed at work and starts withdrawing emotionally from Emma. He stops expressing affection, avoids conversations about their relationship, and becomes distant when Emma seeks emotional support. This emotional detachment leaves Emma feeling insecure and anxious about their future together. B. Commentary. Emotional detachment in relationships involves withdrawing or withholding affection, communication, or emotional support to exert control or manipulate a partner's behavior. This tactic often creates a sense of insecurity and dependency in the other person, as they may fear losing the relationship or being unable to meet their partner's emotional needs. See reference. The Art of Seduction by Robert Greene, Chapter 9. 25. Public humiliation: using public embarrassment or humiliation to undermine a partner's self-esteem and assert dominance. This tactic exploits shame and social pressure to manipulate behavior. Example: during a social gathering, Alex criticizes and mocks Sarah's opinion in front of their friends, making her feel ashamed and belittled. B. Commentary. Public humiliation in relationships involves using shame and embarrassment as a tool to control or manipulate a partner's behavior. By publicly criticizing or mocking their partner, the manipulator aims to assert dominance and undermine the other person's self-esteem. This tactic can damage trust and create lasting emotional wounds, impacting the overall health of the relationship. See reference, The Verbally Abusive Relationship, How to Recognize It and How to Respond by Patricia Evans, Chapter 5. 26. Love bombing, overwhelming a partner with affection, attention, or gifts to create dependency and gain control. This tactic manipulates emotions and fosters reliance on positive reinforcement. Example. In the early stages of their relationship, Mark bombards Jessica with constant messages, flowers, and extravagant gifts, showering her with affection and attention. B. Commentary. Love bombing is a manipulative tactic where one partner overwhelms the other with excessive displays of love and affection. This can create a sense of dependency and emotional reliance on the manipulator's positive reinforcement. Over time, the initial intensity may diminish, leaving the partner feeling confused, insecure, or trapped in the relationship. Love bombing is often used to gain control and influence the partner's emotions and decisions. See reference, Psychological Seduction, The Failure of Modern Relationships by Dr. Robert Moore, Chapter 2. 27. Role reversal, reversing roles of victim and aggressor to manipulate sympathy or guilt. This tactic shifts power dynamics and controls perceptions of responsibility. Example. In a relationship, one partner may habitually provoke arguments and then play the victim when confronted about their behavior. They might accuse the other partner of being overly sensitive or aggressive, thereby shifting blame and maintaining control over the narrative. B. Commentary. Role reversal is a form of psychological manipulation where the manipulator distorts reality to avoid responsibility and manipulate perceptions. It can lead to confusion, frustration, and erosion of trust within relationships. See reference, Why Does He Do That? Inside the Minds of Angry and Controlling Men by Lundy Bancroft, Chapter 4. 28. Interpersonal sabotage, sabotaging a partner's relationships or endeavors to isolate and control them. This tactic undermines support networks and fosters dependence on the manipulator. Example. An example of interpersonal sabotage could be spreading false rumors about a colleague to create discord within the team, ultimately aiming to diminish their credibility and social standing. B. Commentary. Interpersonal sabotage is a destructive behavior that often stems from jealousy, competition, or a desire for control. It can lead to mistrust, damaged relationships, and negative consequences for both the perpetrator and the victim. Addressing interpersonal sabotage requires promoting transparency, fostering open communication, and encouraging a supportive and collaborative environment. See reference, The Covert Passive-Aggressive Narcissist, Recognizing the Traits and Finding Healing After Hidden Emotional and Psychological Abuse by Debbie Mirza, Chapter 6. 29. The seduction trap, luring a partner into a relationship under false pretenses or promises of change. This tactic manipulates desires and expectations to gain initial compliance. Example. An example of the seduction trap could be when someone uses flattering words, gifts, and excessive attention to make another person feel special and desired. Over time, this can create an emotional dependence and cloud the other person's judgment, leading them to overlook red flags or boundaries. B. Commentary. The seduction trap highlights the importance of recognizing genuine intentions in relationships. It warns against falling prey to superficial charm or manipulation tactics that can lead to emotional manipulation, coercion, or abuse. Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect, trust, and genuine emotional connection rather than on deceit or exploitation. See reference, Toxic Men, 10 Ways to Identify, Deal with, and Heal from the Men Who Make Your Life Miserable by Lillian Glass, Chapter 8. 30. Conditional affection, offering affection or validation only in exchange for compliance or meeting certain expectations. This tactic manipulates emotions and fosters dependency on meeting conditions. Example. Imagine a partner who only expresses love and affection when their significant other meets specific demands, such as completing household chores or adhering to their preferences. They may withhold affection or become distant if these conditions aren't met. B. Commentary. Conditional affection can create an unhealthy dynamic in relationships, as it places pressure on one person to constantly meet the expectations of the other to receive love or validation. It can lead to feelings of insecurity, resentment, and low self-worth in the partner subjected to these conditions. Healthy relationships thrive on unconditional love and support, where affection is given freely and not contingent upon meeting certain criteria. See reference. In Sheep's Clothing, Understanding and Dealing with Manipulative People by Dr. George K. Simon, Chapter 9. 31. Enticement and delay, promising rewards or resolutions to issues in exchange for delaying or postponing action. This tactic manipulates hope and delays resolution to maintain control. Example. A person in a relationship may entice their partner with promises of a luxurious vacation together or a special gift for their anniversary. They build anticipation and excitement around these plans, creating a sense of expectation and desire in their partner. B. Commentary. Enticement and delay can be used strategically to maintain interest and keep the relationship dynamic. It plays on the psychological principle of delayed gratification, where the anticipation of a reward can heighten desire and investment in the relationship. However, if used excessively or manipulatively, it can lead to frustration, disappointment, and a breakdown in trust if promises are consistently unfulfilled. In healthy relationships, balance and mutual respect are key to ensuring that promises made are honored, and both partners feel valued and appreciated. See reference. Games People Play. The Psychology of Human Relationships by Eric Berne, Chapter 8. 32. Selective amnesia, conveniently forgetting promises, agreements, or past events to evade accountability or justify actions. This tactic distorts history and manipulates perceptions of reliability. Example. A couple agrees to discuss their future plans, including moving in together. One partner repeatedly brings it up, but the other consistently changes the subject or acts as if the discussion never occurred, avoiding any commitment. B. Commentary. Selective amnesia can be a passive-aggressive tactic to avoid conflict, responsibility, or commitment in a relationship. It may also be used to manipulate perceptions or avoid accountability for past actions or promises. Over time, it can erode trust and create frustration in the relationship if one partner feels their concerns or desires are consistently dismissed or ignored. Healthy communication and mutual respect are essential to address such behaviors and maintain trust and transparency in a relationship. See reference. Who's Pulling Your Strings? How to Break the Cycle of Manipulation and Regain Control of Your Life by Harriet B. Breaker, Chapter 3. 33. Threat of abandonment, using the threat of ending the relationship or withdrawal of support to coerce compliance or manipulate behavior. This tactic induces fear of loss to control actions and decisions. Example. During an argument, one partner threatens to leave the relationship if their demands or expectations are not met, creating anxiety and pressure on the other partner to comply. B. Commentary. This tactic exploits the fear of loss and emotional dependency to manipulate behavior or coerce compliance from the other partner. It can lead to feelings of insecurity, resentment, and a skewed power dynamic within the relationship. Addressing such behavior requires open communication, setting healthy boundaries, and fostering mutual respect to ensure both partners feel valued and secure in the relationship. See reference. Emotional blackmail. When the people in your life use fear, obligation, and guilt to manipulate you, by Susan Forward, Chapter 6. 34. Playing the victim, portraying oneself as a victim of circumstances or the partner's actions to elicit sympathy, deflect blame, or gain advantage. Example. In conflicts or disagreements, one partner consistently portrays themselves as the victim, exaggerating their suffering or innocence while downplaying their role in the issue. B. Commentary. This tactic shifts blame onto the other partner, creating guilt or a sense of obligation to make amends. It can undermine trust and communication, perpetuating unhealthy relationship dynamics. Addressing this behavior involves fostering accountability, promoting open dialogue, and recognizing mutual responsibilities in resolving conflicts constructively. See reference: The Emotionally Abusive Relationship, How to Stop Being Abused and How to Stop Abusing by Beverly Engel, Chapter 5. 35. Narcissistic idealization and devaluation: Idealizing a partner initially to secure their attachment, then devaluing or demeaning them over time to maintain control and dominance. Example: during the idealization phase, the narcissistic partner showers their significant other with affection, praise, and attention, seeing them as flawless and putting them on a pedestal. They may idealize the partner's qualities, accomplishments, or appearance excessively. B. Commentary: However, this idealization is often superficial and can abruptly shift to devaluation when the partner fails to meet unrealistic expectations or challenges the narcissist's superiority. This phase involves criticism, emotional manipulation, or withdrawal of affection, leaving the partner feeling confused, hurt, or unworthy. Recognizing these patterns is crucial for setting boundaries, fostering self-worth, and seeking support to navigate such relationships effectively. See reference: Disarming the Narcissist, Surviving and Thriving with the Self-Absorbed by Wendy T. Behari, Chapter 7. 36. Emotional escalation: Intentionally escalating emotional intensity or conflict to overwhelm a partner and gain control of the situation or narrative. Example: imagine a couple having a disagreement about household chores. Initially, it starts with a simple discussion about responsibilities. As the conversation progresses, one partner becomes increasingly frustrated, raising their voice and expressing more intense emotions. They may start bringing up past grievances or making exaggerated claims about the other's behavior, leading to a heated argument. B. Commentary: Emotional escalation can stem from unresolved issues, differing communication styles, or unmet emotional needs. It often complicates conflict resolution as it shifts focus from the original issue to heightened emotional reactions. Recognizing and managing emotional escalation involves practicing emotional regulation, active listening, and addressing underlying concerns calmly to foster constructive dialogue and understanding. See reference: Emotional Intelligence 2.0 by Travis Bradberry and Jean Greaves, Chapter 9. 37. Love withdrawal: Withdrawing love, affection, or attention as punishment for perceived infractions or noncompliance with demands. This tactic induces guilt and reinforces dependence. Example: after an argument over household responsibilities, one partner decides to stop speaking to the other for several days. They refuse to respond to messages, avoid physical contact, and generally act cold and distant. This behavior aims to make the other partner feel guilty or anxious, hoping they will apologize or comply with their demands. B. Commentary: Love withdrawal can be a damaging form of emotional manipulation. It leverages the fear of losing affection or connection to coerce behavior or compliance. Over time, it erodes trust and creates insecurity within the relationship, as the withdrawing partner uses emotional distance as a tool for control. Addressing love withdrawal requires open communication, boundaries, and mutual respect to foster healthier relational dynamics. See reference: Women Who Love Psychopaths, Inside the Relationships of Inevitable Harm by Sandra L. Brown, Chapter 3. 38. Smear campaigns: Spreading rumors or negative information about a partner to damage their reputation or undermine their credibility in social or professional circles. Example: during a breakup, one partner spreads rumors among mutual friends and acquaintances, falsely accusing the other of infidelity and financial irresponsibility. They use social media to post misleading or damaging comments about their ex-partner, aiming to tarnish their reputation and discredit their character. B. Commentary: Smear campaigns are often driven by resentment, anger, or a desire for retaliation. They can inflict significant emotional and social harm on the targeted partner, leading to isolation, loss of support networks, and damage to their self-esteem. Recognizing and addressing smear campaigns involves setting clear boundaries, seeking support from trusted individuals, and sometimes taking legal action if the defamation is severe or persistent. Communication and maintaining integrity are crucial in mitigating the effects of such campaigns and rebuilding trust in relationships. See reference: The Sociopath Next Door, The Ruthless versus the Rest of Us by Martha Stout, Chapter 5. 39. Economic control: exerting control over finances or resources to manipulate a partner's behavior, decisions, or sense of security within the relationship. Example: a partner controls all financial accounts and gives the other limited access to money for household expenses. They prevent the partner from working or accessing their own income, using financial dependence to enforce compliance with their demands and decisions. B. Commentary: economic control is a form of abuse that can trap the victim in a cycle of dependency and powerlessness. It undermines their financial autonomy, making it difficult for them to leave the relationship or make independent choices. Overcoming economic control often involves seeking financial advice, setting up separate accounts, and asserting legal rights to financial resources. Support from trusted friends, family, or professionals can also help in reclaiming financial independence and rebuilding confidence. Recognizing signs of economic control early is crucial for protecting one's financial stability and well-being in relationships. See reference: Financial Abuse: How to Control a Woman with Money by Patricia Evans, Chapter 6. 40. Intermittent reinforcement: rewarding desired behaviors inconsistently to maintain engagement and control within the relationship. Example: in a relationship, one partner intermittently gives affection, praise, or attention after the other performs certain behaviors. Sometimes they show warmth and approval, reinforcing the desired behavior, but other times they withdraw emotionally, creating uncertainty and prompting the other to work harder for approval. B. Commentary: intermittent reinforcement can create a powerful psychological effect, keeping the recipient uncertain about the relationship's stability and their partner's feelings. This can lead to heightened emotional investment and efforts to seek validation or approval. Over time, it may also contribute to feelings of anxiety, insecurity, and low self-esteem in the recipient. Recognizing and addressing these patterns is crucial for maintaining healthy relationship dynamics based on genuine affection and mutual respect. Communication, transparency, and consistent behavior are essential in fostering trust and emotional well-being in relationships. See reference: Games People Play, The Psychology of Human Relationships by Eric Berne, Chapter 7. 41. Love bombing: overwhelming a partner with affection, attention, or grand gestures to secure their attachment and compliance. Example: in a new relationship, one partner showers the other with excessive affection, gifts, and declarations of love. They constantly text, call, and spend time together, making the other person feel special and deeply desired. They may plan extravagant surprises, romantic getaways, and inundate the relationship with intense emotional expressions. B. Commentary: love bombing is often used at the beginning of a relationship to overwhelm the other person with positive attention and affection. It can create a sense of euphoria and make the recipient feel like they've found their perfect match. However, it can also be a tactic used to manipulate and gain control over the other person's emotions and decisions. Over time, love bombing can transition into other manipulative behaviors as the person seeks to maintain the intense level of affection or as their true intentions become clearer. It's important to differentiate genuine love and care from love bombing by observing whether the intensity of affection is sustainable and respectful of boundaries. See reference: Psychological Seduction: The Failure of Modern Relationships by Dr. Robert Moore, Chapter 6. 42. Guilt tripping: using guilt or shame to manipulate a partner's emotions or decisions, often by highlighting perceived selfishness or failures to meet expectations. Example: after a disagreement, one partner repeatedly brings up past mistakes or shortcomings of the other, emphasizing how their actions have hurt or disappointed them. They may use phrases like, "I can't believe you would do this to me after everything I've done for you." Or, "You always let me down when I need you the most." This tactic aims to make the other person feel guilty for their actions or decisions. B. Commentary. Guilt tripping is a form of emotional manipulation where one person uses guilt as a tool to control the behavior of another. It can create feelings of shame, obligation, or responsibility in the targeted person, influencing them to comply with the guilt tripper's desires or demands. Over time, repeated guilt tripping can erode self-esteem and lead to a cycle of emotional dependence and manipulation within the relationship. Recognizing guilt tripping involves understanding the difference between genuine expressions of disappointment or hurt and manipulative attempts to control. Healthy relationships involve open communication, empathy, and the ability to resolve conflicts without resorting to emotional manipulation tactics like guilt tripping. Understanding guilt tripping helps individuals set boundaries and maintain healthy relationships based on mutual respect and understanding rather than emotional coercion. C. Reference: Emotional blackmail. When the people in your life use fear, obligation, and guilt to manipulate you, by Susan Forward, Chapter 8. 43. Triangulation involving a third party or creating the perception of competition to provoke jealousy or insecurity within the relationship. Example: in a romantic relationship, one partner frequently mentions a close friend of the opposite sex, highlighting their positive interactions and qualities. They might say things like, "Sarah is so understanding and supportive. I wish you were more like her sometimes." This creates a comparison and subtly suggests that the partner falls short in comparison to the friend, fostering jealousy or insecurity. B. Commentary. Triangulation is a tactic used to manipulate emotions and control perceptions within a relationship. By introducing a third person into the dynamic, the manipulator can create tension, competition, or insecurity between the partner and the third party. This tactic can be subtle, such as mentioning a friend's positive traits, or overt, like flirting with others to incite jealousy. In healthy relationships, partners build trust and address issues directly with each other, rather than involving third parties to manipulate emotions or exert control. Recognizing triangulation involves maintaining open communication and addressing any insecurities or concerns directly with one another to foster trust and mutual understanding. Understanding triangulation helps individuals identify and set boundaries against manipulative behaviors, promoting healthier and more respectful relationships based on trust, honesty, and open communication. C. Reference: In Sheep's Clothing, Understanding and Dealing with Manipulative People by Dr. George K. Simon, Chapter 5. 44. Coercive control: exerting control over a partner's daily activities, decisions, or social interactions to dominate and isolate within the relationship. Example: in a coercive control scenario, a partner may gradually isolate their significant other from family and friends by criticizing or undermining their relationships. They might restrict their partner's access to finances, constantly monitor their activities, and use threats or intimidation to ensure compliance with their demands. B. Commentary. Coercive control goes beyond isolated incidents of abuse. It involves a systematic pattern aimed at undermining the victim's autonomy and sense of self. This behavior can include emotional abuse, financial abuse, physical intimidation, and isolation tactics to exert dominance and maintain power over the victim. In many cases, coercive control is subtle and gradual, making it challenging for the victim to recognize the manipulation and seek help. Recognizing coercive control involves understanding the tactics used to isolate, intimidate, and control the victim's behavior and choices. Seeking support from trusted friends, family, or professional resources can provide victims of coercive control with the tools and resources needed to break free from the cycle of abuse and regain their independence. Understanding coercive control helps raise awareness about the importance of healthy boundaries, mutual respect, and consent in relationships, promoting safer and more supportive environments for everyone involved. C. Reference: Why Does He Do That? Inside the Minds of Angry and Controlling Men by Lundy Bancroft, Chapter 8. 45. Emotional manipulation: using emotions such as fear, guilt, or pity to manipulate a partner's behaviors or decisions within the relationship. Example: a partner constantly plays on their significant other's insecurities, making them doubt their worth and depend more on their approval for validation. They might use guilt-tripping, gaslighting, or withholding affection to manipulate their partner's emotions and actions. B. Commentary: emotional manipulation can be insidious, often leaving the victim feeling confused, insecure, or guilty without fully understanding why. It undermines trust and mutual respect in relationships, creating imbalance and dependency. It's important to recognize signs of emotional manipulation early on, such as feeling consistently drained, questioning your own reality, or feeling pressured to meet someone else's demands. Building awareness and seeking support from trusted sources can empower individuals to set boundaries and maintain healthier relationships. Understanding emotional manipulation promotes emotional intelligence and empathy, fostering healthier dynamics where both partners feel valued, respected, and free to express themselves authentically. This awareness also plays a crucial role in preventing emotional abuse and promoting safer interpersonal interactions. C. Reference: Who's Pulling Your Strings? How to Break the Cycle of Manipulation and Regain Control of Your Life by Harriet B. Breaker, Chapter 5. 46. Idealization and devaluation: alternating between idealizing a partner to secure attachment and devaluing them to maintain control and dominance within the relationship. Example: during the idealization phase, a partner may praise their significant other excessively, seeing them as perfect and placing them on a pedestal. They might shower them with attention, gifts, and affection, making the other person feel special and cherished. However, in the devaluation phase, this same partner may suddenly criticize, belittle, or withdraw affection from their significant other. They might highlight perceived flaws, become emotionally distant, or engage in hurtful behavior. This can leave the partner confused, hurt, and questioning their self-worth. B. Commentary: idealization and devaluation often stem from deep-seated insecurities, emotional instability, or a need for control. The cycle can be emotionally manipulative and damaging to the recipient, leading to feelings of unworthiness, anxiety, and self-doubt. Recognizing these patterns is crucial for individuals in relationships. It's essential to differentiate genuine admiration and constructive feedback from manipulative behavior. Building self-esteem, setting boundaries, and seeking support from trusted friends or professionals can help individuals navigate and potentially address these dynamics. Understanding idealization and devaluation promotes healthier relationships built on mutual respect, empathy, and realistic expectations. It encourages individuals to cultivate balanced perspectives and foster emotional authenticity, ultimately contributing to more fulfilling and equitable partnerships. C. Reference: The Art of Seduction by Robert Greene, Chapter 4. 47. Selective intimacy: selectively withholding or offering intimacy to manipulate a partner's emotions, behaviors, or decisions within the relationship. Example: in a relationship, one partner might selectively share personal information or vulnerabilities with their significant other only when they believe it will serve their own interests. For instance, they might disclose past traumas or insecurities strategically to elicit sympathy or manipulate the partner's behavior. B. Commentary: selective intimacy can be a form of emotional manipulation, where one person controls the narrative of the relationship by strategically revealing or withholding information. It undermines trust and authentic emotional connection because it prioritizes personal gain or manipulation over genuine sharing and mutual understanding. In healthy relationships, intimacy involves reciprocal sharing of thoughts, emotions, and vulnerabilities, contributing to mutual trust, empathy, and closeness. Selective intimacy, on the other hand, disrupts this balance by using personal information as a tool for manipulation or control. Recognizing and addressing selective intimacy requires open communication, transparency, and mutual respect. Both partners should feel safe to share authentically without fear of exploitation or judgment. Building trust through genuine emotional exchanges fosters stronger and more fulfilling connections in relationships. C. Reference: The Covert Passive-Aggressive Narcissist Recognizing the Traits and Finding Healing After Hidden Emotional and Psychological Abuse by Debbie Mirza, Chapter 9. Conclusion. Exploring the realm of psychological warfare in relationships through the lens of The Art of Seduction has revealed a spectrum of tactics that manipulate emotions, perceptions, and behaviors. Each example demonstrates how individuals can subtly or overtly exert control over others, fostering dependency, insecurity, and compliance. These tactics, while effective in achieving short-term goals within relationships, often come at the expense of trust, authenticity, and mutual respect. It is crucial to recognize that the strategies outlined are not tools for healthy, sustainable relationships. Rather, they highlight how individuals can be vulnerable to manipulation when their emotional needs and desires are exploited. Awareness of these tactics serves as a defense against potential emotional abuse and manipulation. By understanding these dynamics, individuals can empower themselves to recognize coercive behaviors and maintain healthier boundaries in their relationships. It is essential to emphasize that the ethical and compassionate pursuit of relationships should prioritize mutual respect, open communication, and genuine connection. Using psychological warfare tactics undermines these principles and erodes the foundation of trust essential for meaningful relationships. Instead of seeking to manipulate or control others, individuals should strive to cultivate relationships built on mutual understanding, support, and authenticity. Ultimately, this exploration serves as a cautionary reminder of the importance of ethical conduct in interpersonal interactions. By respecting boundaries, practicing empathy, and fostering genuine connections, individuals can create relationships that enrich their lives and those of others, free from the manipulation and exploitation outlined in these examples. Let this knowledge empower you not to employ these tactics, but rather to recognize when they are being used against you. By cultivating self-awareness and fostering healthy relationship dynamics, we can collectively contribute to creating more fulfilling and respectful connections in our personal and professional lives. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. If you enjoyed the story and would like to hear more, please share this podcast with your friends and rate it on your favorite podcast platform. Don't forget to visit my website at www.tonyc.info for more content, updates, and exclusive behind-the-scenes insights. This podcast is mainly supported by listeners like you. If you want to help keep the stories coming, consider supporting me on Patreon at www.patreon.com/JTAC. Even just $1 a month makes a huge difference and helps me continue to create the content you love. Thank you again for listening. Your support means the world to me. Until next time, stay safe and keep exploring the unknown.